Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tripod Podcast, or the Tripodcast. I guess that part we'll still talk about in a minute. But basically, I am your host, CrazyRocky, alongside my co-hosts, JasonNova and Peter Films. Or Peter, do you have how do you like to be referred to? Just Peter?
Yeah, just Peter works.
Okay, great. So got Peter over here. We are all lovers of the craft of cinema. We have all got like decent backgrounds in watching a lot of cinema, and we even have a little bit of background in like behind the camera stuff. Not as much as a lot of other people, but because we have that love of cinema that we all share, we wanted to come together and bring you guys our thoughts, opinions, reviews, hot takes, and everything. And we're gonna do that under here, the Tripod Podcast. So, I'm CrazyRocky, part of Smokin Sessions, alongside Jason here. We do over on our channel Smokin Sessions. We do movie reviews and all that good stuff, as well as like retro movie reviews, like coming soon videos, talking about trailers, giving our opinions, all that good stuff. And we have a format that I kind of like and whatnot. So definitely go check that out. Peter, do you want to go ahead and give a little background about yourself there?
Yeah, well, I've just finished studying at film school, so I'm starting to do YouTube again with some reactions and stuff, and talking about films on TikTok, Instagram, that sort of stuff.
Thanks.
And just getting back into it, and eventually going to do more film content and release some of the stuff that I've shot over the years. But yeah, for now I'm just doing little reactions and stuff, and this podcast, which is pretty fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then Jason, what about yourself?
So this mic is really low.
You can turn it up a bit.
Okay.
Good.
So basically, I've been doing like multimedia stuff, editing work, and all that for probably over 10 years. So, I've just been always an avid movie watcher. Usually not really wasted, but spent a lot of time watching tons and tons of movies from all different genres, from all decades, all years. And I enjoy the art of cinema. I enjoy the lighting, the shot selection, and I get more into that type of stuff rather than, was it a good fun film?
Sure.
I can't really shut my brain off when I watch movies. So
Fair.
I don't know how that's possible, but
Fair.
yeah, I've been told it is. So.
Yeah, and same over here. Me and Jason are both much more into stories and whatnot, and based off of conversations, Peter, we've had, it definitely seems like you also are an enjoyer of good stories and whatnot. So, also on top of that, I think it would be fun to just say one movie that, like, kind of, it doesn't have to be like your favorite movie, but it like kind of is something that kind of gives a hint towards like what you might like, and you can even give like a couple if you like. But I would say like two of my favorite movies are Videodrome and Chinatown. I absolutely love like horror as well as psychological horror, and then on top of that I love mysteries and thrillers, and so those two movies are like my quintessential films that I absolutely love. So either of you, if you want to go ahead and just give a film or two that kind of defines your taste, go for it.
I mean, David Lynch, that's my taste. Like that's my favorite. That's my favorite director of all time. I love surrealist cinema the most, and I would say comedies, horrors are probably a close second behind that.
Okay, and Peter?
Yeah, I think in terms of this podcast, I feel like I've probably watched the least, just because I've wasted so much time watching TV or whatever. But I'd go with Social Network and Nightcrawler are currently my favorites, but I feel like a lot of very good films I still have to get around to.
That's absolutely fair. Those are banger films. And also I wanted to add The Lighthouse on there because I forgot about that. An absolute banger. Okay, so those are the introductions. Also, links for everybody are going to be down in the description as always. But let's go ahead and get into a little bit of movie news. So I think one of the first things that we can discuss here is, I don't know if you guys know much about it, but the Thunderbolts movie. It looks like it's just been delayed because it was impacted by the Writers Guild strike. But generally speaking, Thunderbolts seems to be a film that is similar to like Suicide Squad, except in the vein of Marvel. And so they've been kind of setting up these various villain characters to come in. The one that I don't see here, because I'm showing it over on our screen here, I see we have David Harbour's character, Florence Pugh, we have Bucky, we have the Captain America that got stripped. I can't remember what his name was, John something, I think, John Walker. Then we have Taskmaster, I believe. I don't know who the guy on the far right is, and then I can't remember Julia Louis Dreyfus's name.
She seems to be like an Amanda Waller character.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, this movie,
Starring Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt. What the fuck?
Wait, what was that? Is
it's
it?
starring Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt, apparently.
I did a video about this talking about the script. I forgot about that because in the wiki, he's kind of mentioned pretty heavily, but in this one, on all the stuff I read, none of them have this. Go! Hold on. Sorry, my dog just wrapped herself in all of our goddamn wires.
Okay.
But so far, yeah, I don't see him listed in any of the trailers or the pictures that I've seen coming up for it. The other one that I would have expected is the White Vision character, because he's just kind of out there since the end of WandaVision, and we haven't heard anything about that character or what they plan to do with it. And this is what I would have expected them to do, is bring him in here.
I mean, from I heard, I had read a rumor that they were trying to rewrite to limit the Black Widow characters the least.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I don't know how you do that, because Florence Pugh is probably the best actress that they have. But.
Yeah, I like the guy who does John Walker quite a bit, but he's so improperly utilized. And so the thing is the Suicide Squad type movies are already one that you have to be willing to push boundaries and really kind of throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. I don't see Marvel doing that, and so what I think we'll probably end up getting is a really boring, cliche, fake edgy thing that pushes stuff a little bit for Marvel's way of doing things, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to be pretty formulaic as every other
in
Marvel
this photo,
film
there's
is.
nothing that makes them stand out
At
as
all.
individuals.
No,
they
at all.
all just mesh as one, which it's supposed to be a teen, but still, it's at least have some character,
Yeah, and then the fact that it's being impacted by the Writers Guild strike. I mean, hopefully they don't try to AI write this shit.
I mean, I just read today that there was a person that was on a podcast, and she's working on some book talking about Marvel, and she had said that they originally Disney wasn't planning on making their entire thing around Kang, but after Jonathan Majors' performance in Loki, and then after what they had heard and seen the hype around him in Quantumania, they completely rewrote everything, and now they're kind of stuck in a fucked situation where. Yeah, because there's more and more more and more allegations coming out. The trial hasn't even happened, but you can't really have a guy who's abused multiple women as your forefront. That's just not.
Yeah, well, and the main thing too is I just don't know how they're gonna get around that. But at the end of the day, they do have quite a bit of time. I mean, it seemed like they were setting him up for a big bat. I mean, if you look back at the original iterations of Thanos, he was recast. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, we've seen more of Kang than we have with Thanos back at the beginning. But Thanos, I believe, I don't know if he was recast just the once or if he was recast twice. But I'm sure ways that they can go about it if need be. But generally speaking,
fast track now though, isn't it? Phase 5, phase 1 through 3 when they recast Thanos was a decade, whereas the Avengers films of this phase come out in 2025, right?
I think so.
I haven't really looked at it. Are they going to already have him be the main villain of the? Because if for Thanos, they kind of
I think it's super. I think it's super compacted. I think because Phase 4's ended, Phase 5 ends this year, I think.
Jeez.
So then Phase 6 is 2025.
Okay.
Just because there's so many films and TV shows, I think.
And so
they've only got a year to recast or.
I wonder if
like
what
that
they
or
do is if they just speed up his storyline, right? Like if maybe if he is going to be the villain here, maybe what they can do is they can have him ended early and use that as a tool to kind of switch over to an even bigger bad and make him even more menacing by killing off Kang in such like an easy way. I think that might be the only way that they can do it, if since it is so compact like that. Like,
Yeah,
it's like, what are you going to do?
They have to do something because even if like some situation arises where he gets like completely cleared,
Yeah.
it's still not going to impact like the general public opinion for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they'll always look at him as that
Especially
way.
if you when you read the text and
Oh, yeah, it's an
like if you know, if you've had been around anybody who's been abused or been in an abusive household, everything the text, as soon as I read it, I was like, nope, this is a person being gaslit and they're being abused, because it's easy to see it, but obviously we have to wait for the court to progress and see what happens then.
Yeah, and so does anybody have anything else on that one? Because the other main thing I wanted to talk about was the new Barbie trailer.
Well, I saw the Avengers screenwriter got fired for
Oh, really?
the first one.
Oh, I did not
Yeah,
see that.
I know that they've got weird people in. Like, I think it was a guy called Jeff who like hasn't really written anything.
Okay.
But I think they've fired him. I think like the backlash of Quantum Mania has them like actually bringing in good writers, hopefully.
Oh, that's the hope, because they've had so many people, and then again, like the person who did Loki, she isn't even in control of Loki season 2, so that's made me lose complete faith there. Like, there's just been so many poor decisions on behalf of Marvel at this point that it's just hard. It's harder and harder to care for me about it.
Yeah, and they just don't want to pay. That's the other problem. They don't want to pay the writers.
Yep.
They don't want to pay the directors.
Yeah, they'd rather get inexperienced people so that way they can pay them the least, which is why they did that with actors.
Or
like,
yes people.
At the beginning of the thing.
People that just agree to everything that Marvel says and just...
I mean, that's going to be almost any actor for the most part, because it's Marvel. You can't really tell them what to do.
Yeah.
but generally speaking, they bring in these like people that are newer and don't have as much experience, because they can sit there and they can pay them less, and then they're like, oh yeah, but you're getting a Disney film.
Sometimes it works out. Like Loki, it worked out.
It's sometimes they're great.
She spent 4 years on that project.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it wasn't like she had turned it around in 6 months.
Yeah, and more often than not, it doesn't seem to work out when they do have these. Like, I've noticed lately, whenever because I do these coming soon videos and whatnot, I've noticed more and more that there will be these big projects with like a director who has maybe 1 or 2 films under their belt, and it's very strange.
Yeah, like I think there's like different tiers of stuff. Like I think Loki works because it's like an early TV show, whereas if Loki was like if that project had been like Thor 4 and she was writing a Thor film based around Loki or something as like a blockbuster film, I wouldn't have had as much faith. But like for a TV show, it's like you kind of have more free reign. Disney doesn't seem to care as much. Like the guy that did Shang-Chi is directing Avengers Kang, like, but he's only really directed Shang-Chi, like.
Yeah, and I didn't mind Shang-Chi. That was actually one of the ones that I kind of preferred out of this whole thing. But still, at the end of the day, when you're giving these large projects to these people, like, you have to either have a lot of faith in them or just are like, hey, we can get it for cheaper. And then also, I'm sure to a degree they think it makes them look better because they're like, oh yeah, we're helping up and coming people and blah blah blah.
Well, and part of it is because Sam Raimi has even come out and said that no, Marvel and Disney Marvel has restricted a lot of what I wanted to do. Elizabeth Olsen has said they went through countless rewrites while on set, and she just got frustrated with the whole thing. And it's just like, there's directors that want to do a Marvel film, but when even James Gunn had this issue. James Gunn was forced to have Adam Warlock in the new Guardians movie, and he didn't want to have him in there. And when you watch the film, you can clearly see Adam Warlock does not belong in this film.
He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and so Disney basically has an issue where they want to be hold everybody's hand, essentially. They don't want anybody to really have free reign because they believe that when that happens, bad things occur. Although when directors during phase 1, 2, and 3 were allowed free reign to do kind of what they wanted and envisioned, that's how you got great films like the Captain America movies were all great. But I don't see Disney ever letting off the reins, especially now after this whole Jonathan Majors thing. I mean, if they rewrote the entire thing for him, they're basically going to look at like, well, we can never do that again.
Yeah, and I think the problem is too is that like with these, I just have such a lack of care because it is also so wide now that it's like I have to keep up with all the exactly. It's like unless you like are obsessed with it, and it's like one of the main things that you constantly keep up with. It's hard to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch all these shows and then I'm gonna go see all these movies, and it's just so much to keep up with that your average person, I just feel like it's too much.
Yeah.
And so even if it is a good project, it's like also I'm not going to go through 5 projects so I can find one good one. And I feel like especially with the shows, that's what it's like. You got like 90% of it is trash.
Even if you watch like a lot of film stuff, like when I was talking to people about Guardians on TikTok, someone said to me like, Guardians 3 is the first Phase 5 film, and I was like, how are they on Phase 5 already? Like,
yeah.
I'm kind of following along, but that's super quick. Like, it's just...
It seems like they're just speeding everything up so much and then again, it's like they already had like an issue with being very formulaic, and when you sit there and you're like, no, we need to pump out this many films, etc., it's like, yeah, you kind of have to then rely on the formula, because what are you going to do, make an entirely unique and like rare project that goes like off the rails in a perfect way in like a short amount of time? It's like, no, you're not going to be able to get all that done with this schedule that Disney's, and that's a big thing for Marvel with CGI workers. I was reading is that these people that do the CGI for Marvel will be putting in 100 hours of a week in crunch time, because they are known for like these terrible crunch times and overworking their people. And it's like, well, yeah, because they're trying to pump out so many of them, and they're all so heavily reliant on this CGI, and then it's like they have to make it dark. Yeah, they make it dark and they make it look terrible and shitty because they just don't have the time to go for it. Even though Disney has resources like it's nothing, they just would rather pump out as many films as possible because they know.
Well, that was as soon as Bob Iger was leaving or about to leave, that's when all of a sudden there was like 10 fucking shows in a year. It was just like, why the fuck is there so much damn content? Because it doesn't even allow you to kind of like fall in love with these characters. It doesn't allow you to go and look at the comic books and see where this character came from and all that different stuff that makes it can sell merchandise as well. But Disney is so hell-bent on rushing everything, like they have. Like, oh, in the next 5 years, all this is over. There's no longer going to be a Marvel Disney. The way, at the pace that they're going, that's the way it feels.
Yeah.
And especially when you watch She-Hulk, I don't even know how the hell it got. Hawkeye was a terrible show. Most of the shows that Disney has released have been awful. Like, not even one episode has been good.
Yeah.
But Loki's the best thing that they've had.
Yeah, and I think it will remain that way. All right, well...
I do know a lot of the blame is on... Shapehack anyway. Like, maybe things are going to start turning around, but it's really tough. I mean, it's not even specifically on Marvel either. Like, all of the other properties they seem to be doing like shit with. It's very annoying because it's like you have something so successful because of like the independence that people had early on, and now all the franchises they have, they're trying to like streamline them, and it's like just.
They need to be like Microsoft. Buy it, give it funding, and then hands off. Just let it generate money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I much prefer that way, but they're just too much, because also they want everything Disneyified to a certain degree.
Yeah,
like they want everything to be available.
Some things, Blade can't be Disneyified.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of gritty stuff when it comes to comic books, and like having it like Disneyified, it's just it doesn't work out because they're trying to appeal to the lowest common denominator, and then you're never going to get a good story that way.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and that's good on that one. And now I just quickly wanted to talk about the Barbie trailer that dropped today, because I know me and Jason talked about it a little bit, but we're both really liking it. I didn't know what to expect from the Barbie movie. I really wasn't like even like thinking I was gonna even watch it really, other than like, hey, maybe when it comes out to streaming, we'll review it.
I thought maybe it was going to be like a Starsky and Hutch type of movie.
Okay.
Or something like very funny, but not really a good story.
Well,
at
and I
all.
thought it was I didn't think it would be a good story at all, and I thought it was going to be much more kid-ish.
Yeah.
However, have you seen the trailer for this, Peter, that dropped today?
No, I've seen the original one.
Okay. So basically, there's a moment where like Barbie is dancing and she's at her like she has a party every day and it's all perfectly choreographed and they have the perfect days. And as they're dancing, she has a moment where she stops and she says, "Does anybody think about dying?" And everybody like looks at her like so sideways, and it's like this really interesting take on like how Barbie is like
Mortality.
ostracized. Yeah, she's thinking about her own mortality and these things that like these other people don't like, and so therefore she's being ostracized just for like thinking about basic things within life. And so then she's kind of like forced to go to the real world to like understand like humans and the real world and whatnot. And there's this really funny scene with like Kate McEnany, I think is her name, and she's basically like a bridge troll, and she's got her hair all fucked up in like a pink tutu, and she gives Barbie the like blue pill red pill paradigm, except with like a high heel or like a regular shoe. And then Barbie's like, "No, I just want to go home. I don't want to do this anymore." And then like Kate McEnany's like, no, you were supposed to pick the other one. We're gonna start again. Just try it again." Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like there was some really funny bits of it. I don't see a rating on it yet though. I'm very curious. It seems like it would get at least a PG rating, if not maybe PG-13. But because there's even like sexual assault.
PG-13.
Yeah, there was even like a sexual assault thing where like Barbie, this guy walks up to Barbie and slaps her ass, and she just straight up dicks the guy, obviously.
And then they get arrested.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Dude, so like it's touching on a lot of really adult themes, which is not at all what I expected.
Yeah.
But honestly, it looks really funny. I'm not gonna lie. It looks funny, and it looks like it has a pretty decent story, actually. So I'm definitely gonna. Now, I will say Ryan Gosling, for some reason, looks psychotic in this film, though. Like, he looks totally, like, just out of his, like happy that he just murdered somebody and like the blood is still on the knife. You know what I mean? That's what this smile that I'm looking at right now is giving me. But yeah, I think that one's gonna be pretty good. Although Jason made a good point. There is a couple moments where like Margot Robbie's feet are shown, so you know that's gonna go viral for the wrong reasons. But okay, so that's if
Well, it
anybody,
should be.
yeah.
I was thinking it would be Disney-ified, but it's like I wish I knew the name. It's like a famous director, isn't it? That got tapped to do Barbie.
I think so. Let me actually go double check here.
But I think she hasn't done like kiddie stuff. But then obviously I was like, oh, well, she's just
Greta
gonna do Barbie.
Gerwig.
Yeah, Greta. What did she do
Yeah.
before though?
She did Little Women, Lady Bird.
Oh, Lady Bird is really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
It
no,
looks
and
like
that
they're
makes
giving her
sense actually.
freedom.
Yeah. When with Lady Bird, like that's a type of film that is more of like a dark comedy, obviously. So that actually makes perfect sense. Okay.
that's
yeah, I'll definitely be watching that. Now let's go
It's
ahead
a double
and.
feature with Oppenheimer.
Oh wait, yeah. Does that drop around the same time?
Same day.
Oh, same day? Fuck yeah, we're going to the theater back to back. Me and Jason will have to start with Oppenheimer and end with Barbie. That way we can end on a
Yeah,
comedy.
I think that's the way.
Yeah, best way to go about it.
As long as Barbie's not like super depressing, and then you just get like double drugged.
Well, hey, listen, it's Margot Robbie though. How depressed can I really get from her? You know.
True.
So let's go ahead and before we get in over to this the tier list, let's talk about a little bit about Fast X. So you saw it, Peter?
Yes.
Okay. What were your thoughts on Fast X?
I'm thinking of like a main thing because obviously we got the tier list. Like I think the ending, obviously no spoilers, but like that's like I don't understand how this ending has made it through.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be allowed to do this.
No, 100%. And do you mean like the person?
I can say it's a movie.
Is it though? Is it a
My
movie?
so I went and saw this with the interesting perspective of almost a general audience because my father doesn't really keep up with films.
Okay.
And before going in, when they were showing trailers, he was asking like, "This is the last one, right?" And I was like, "No, there's going to be another one." But I think the general audience, Fast fans and blah blah blah, people that go see these movies, like if they're over like 30, probably think this is the last one because that's how it was marketed for so long. And then the ending of this film is like atrocious. It's worse than like any other part 1, part 2 I've seen. Like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and stuff didn't have like such a cliffhanger ending. Whereas this is just like there's no satisfaction leaving the theater. Like again, like not my opinion, but my father doesn't really dislike movies that much. But when we left, he just kept saying like, I don't know what to think because there wasn't really an ending. And I was like, yeah, there's really not. You just leave empty.
And it felt so abrupt. Too, that was the other issue.
Yeah.
It was just like, and I thought it was, because going into it, I knew there was going to be another one. And then, probably a few weeks before that was being released, all of a sudden I hear that, no, it's going to be 2 more.
Not even, like, a week or two, like, maybe a week and a half.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I was fully expecting, well, if you're going to release 2 more films, then Fast 10 has got to be, like, a really good, like, movie, or it's got to be, like, a New Hope type of film. No, nothing in this film mattered. None of it had to happen. All of it's just made up bullshit and characters coming back to life because they can't die. It's one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life.
And the ending literally did, as you mentioned earlier, like I would remember when we left the theater, I literally said like it felt like a YouTube video. Like it ended so fucking abruptly that I was like, wait a minute, did I like pass out for and I was like, did I pass out for a couple minutes? And like, what the fuck?
They also had multiple, like, in the editing room floor, they were definitely trying to decide which scene to end on because, like, the scene before the scene they ended on was the one that showed Gal Gadot, right?
Yes.
And before that was another. Like, they just had a bunch of cliffhangers in a row, and they were like, which one should we end with?
Literally, and that's one thing I noticed too with like bad directors is there will be like multiple false endings because they just don't know what the fuck to end it on. And then on top of that, the Gal Gadot return is like, okay, well, just shut it down now. We don't need it anymore. Like if you're gonna just bring people back for no fucking reason that are clearly dead and should have remained dead, then what are we doing? Why anybody can come back?
I don't know whether you guys have seen like 11 and 12, the casting and scripting rumors coming out.
I have not.
I think literally just like after, I'm assuming Dwayne Johnson returned, they've just gotten very lucky with some people coming forward because I don't think the script that they have expands to 3 films, but apparently next film they're having Robert Downey Jr. as the villain.
Oh my god, dude, are you serious?
Dwayne Johnson is going to be joined by Tom Cruise.
Are you fucking shitting me, dude? No, that's a joke.
So I think it's literally just the cast. I think because those 2 actors came forward, they're like, oh, we have to do 2 more.
That's so psychotic, dude. And this makes sense why they're talking about like crossovers with Jurassic Park. Dude, that made me actually want to kill myself, dude. If that actually happened, can you imagine Dom just screaming family while he jumps over a T-Rex
by Universal? So.
Oh god,
it's so problematic. Like, can you imagine if Dwayne Johnson in the next film introduces us to Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible, and it's just a crossover? Like, they could fuck up so many.
That's Paramount, so they don't. It wouldn't be that.
I would hope.
Luckily,
not.
So Mission Impossible.
I would hope.
But I just don't understand. Like, I guess somebody's career has a price tag when they want to end it, because why the fuck would Robert Downey Jr. be in a shitty Fast and Furious movie?
He doesn't need to do anything ever again.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Tom Cruise, the same thing. Tom Cruise is going to... Because he's going to... Part 1, I'm looking forward to Mission Impossible.
No one... Like, actors must not watch these films and just see the cast and they're like, oh, you have Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, John Cena. Oh, yeah, seems like a big cast.
I also think it's probably like more fun and easier work.
Overseas money is really good, I guess.
Yeah, and then literally it is. But I think like everybody, I think they know, like, first of all, the residuals, especially now that these international markets are blowing up, is crazy. It seems like the movie is dog shit, but it seems like it would probably be fun on set, like during it, and it would probably be pretty easy because nobody's expecting any acting. Apparently, you just line read every line.
Do it. I'd just be annoyed.
But like at the end of the day,
it still confuses me on Cruise because I feel like he's gonna film for
I feel like it's gotta be
2 weeks and then leave the film and be doing press saying like I wanted to do my own stunts. Like I can't see him doing a film where it's all CG.
No, that's fair.
And Diesel's gonna be like Tom Cruise is an arsehole. Like they're gonna have drama.
Dude,
again.
I hate Vin Diesel and his bullshit.
CGI in the fucking Fast 10 movie was so bad, like Marvel bad. And I did not understand how a fucking 10-year-old child can get behind the wheel of a car and do multiple donuts in a parking lot when he can't even reach the fucking pedals. It doesn't even make sense, but yeah. Because initially, I brought that up to Rocky after the movie, and he's like, "What? That didn't happen."
No, dude. I literally. So here's the thing: I literally passed out 2 times in the movie, and I kept trying not to because I just got so fucking bored and tired that I was like, "What the fuck?" Because this movie also didn't have any like of the fun shit. It was mostly just like a spy thriller. Or some shit. And on top of that, dude, it didn't even make sense to me. So basically, he gets set up by Jason Momoa's character.
They go back
for bombing the Vatican.
Yeah.
Or attempting to, even though Vin drove it into the water in order to not have it explode. So nobody got hurt. So clearly, if he was trying to, he was pretty fucking bad at trying to. On top of that, Dom has helped multiple governments in the past stop various different threats, and he has Mr. Nobody's kids around that were previously known to have CIA and other ties. You're telling me they couldn't get a conversation with somebody in the government to let them know what's going on? What the fuck are we talking about here?
Who was the no-name CIA guy? Without spoilers.
Kurt. What do you mean, the actor?
Yeah, like is he a guy?
Well, So Mr. Nobody was he was in the previous, and he's Kurt Russell. He's gone now. I think he died. I don't even remember.
He'll be back. He'll be back in the next one.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He probably will.
Yeah.
No, wait. Isn't Vin Diesel looking for him in Fast 10?
I thought he was just known to be dead, so then he finds the kids. Like, he finds Mr. Nobody's children. And then that was like yeah. As far as I can tell the story.
This, the guy that, like, Brie Larson argues with, like, is he an actor that I should know?
I don't know, actually. I think I've seen him before, but not in any large
roles. I didn't recognize him, but I was like...
I didn't recognize him either.
He felt so out of place because the film is like just stars.
Yeah,
and if it had been like fucking someone that I knew, it would have actually been, his part would have been alright. But I just got nothing out of it because I didn't know who the fuck he was.
Yeah, and nobody acted in this film. Everybody just line read everything. So there's nothing to be pulled in by.
They just rock up and it's like, oh yeah, there's Dwayne Johnson, there's John Cena.
Yeah, no, I'm convinced that like literally every 5 seconds somebody says line, and then they literally just cut that out, and then that's the film. I don't think anybody consecutively reads their lines because they didn't memorize the shit. This is like you get no emotion from over half of the cast.
I can tell you because I saw there's this thing going around where Vin's talking about how his daughter wrote some of the script.
Oh god.
She wrote the bridge scene like 100%, right? The scene where he because that scene felt so weird.
Yeah.
Even in the context of the film, he's like, I'm just gonna flip this car. Like, what the fuck is happening? And then he like runs over to Brie Larson for no reason and like picks her up like he's fucking
so weird.
From a Disney film.
Yeah,
and
that
I was like,
so weird, dude.
Yeah, I think his daughter broke.
I think so too.
And the lines in that part was so shit. He was just like, I'm gonna punch you, Jason Momoa now.
Was his daughter in grade school?
Probably.
She's
6.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense because I gotta imagine anybody, if you're over the age of 18, you're probably mentally challenged if you wrote that.
Well, yeah, and it felt like an AI wrote it 100%.
Don't do
And
that.
on
to
top
AI.
of that, like trust me, but Ghosted also felt like it was an AI. I swear to God, they're really doing AI movies now. And so like the dialogue was so fucking bad, and on top of that, it felt like Jason Momoa was doing the family meme to Dong. Like, he was, like, actively, like, fucking with his face. Like, you're the family. I was waiting for him to, like, be like, you're the family guy, right? And break out into the fucking Family Guy theme song. It was fucking ridiculous at what level of memery we were at with this film.
Well, in the end, the entire car is engulfed in flames, and they somehow just miraculously make it out alive. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh my god, dude. And also, I love how, like, Dom just actively puts his child in the most, like, fucked up positions. Like, he's a goddamn contortionist. I don't understand what parent would take their kids and drive off of the Hoover Dam or some shit and use it as a ramp. That's so psychotic to do with your child in the car, man.
Oh, you don't care. But
I know
the frustrating thing was, I felt like Jason Momoa didn't do a bad job.
No,
I
he
think
didn't.
the problem is Vin Diesel can't act his way out
At
of a
all.
plastic bag, so he basically just shows up. Family, like he's autistic permanently.
Yeah.
And you
got
have
CTE
Jason
from
Momoa
fighting.
giving his all and putting on a great performance.
Yep.
And it's like, well, what the fuck is he supposed to act with?
Yeah. Well, and also Jason Momoa's character, that's the thing too, is he did so well, even though they didn't know how to write him, because they didn't know how. They wanted to make him like both like this fun character and super menacing, and it's like that doesn't really work. I think the best part for like him
All
being
of the,
menacing actually was when he had all the guns pointed at him,
Yeah.
and he was just like, "Let's do this," and like that's cool. But other than
As far as
that,
I've seen,
yeah, go ahead.
all of the fun stuff was him, because I've seen a few interviews
Yes.
where he says like, I demanded like to wear this outfit and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
stuff, but they didn't want me to wear it. Like, so
Dude,
Yeah,
He's like a lot of
he's
stuff.
like a evil McJagger.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. My dad came to me. And was like, "Oh yeah, like the gay character, right?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Huh?" And he
yeah,
was like, Go ahead.
when in the scene where he's talking with the corpses,
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard not to like. I mean, anyway, I was starting to think he's so zesty. Like, is he actually supposed to be
Yeah.
gay
Well,
or like?
No, I
Flamboyant.
mean when you like Jack Sparrow, like
Yeah, he's flamboyant
Yeah,
and
he's
not
very
gay.
he's
Yeah,
similar
yeah.
in that, but he wasn't gay.
Yeah, I think he was just having like fun with it. He was just eccentric.
Also, the
It
80s
felt like
metal
one of
bands
those-
definitely weren't gay, and they all dressed like
Yeah, that's true.
It
That
felt
was
like
very
those
cool.
new it felt like those new sort of vibes you get from a film where it's like this character's being written. Like, I was waiting for them to just be like, yeah, he's painting their fingernails because he's gay. See,
Yeah.
you're the gay
Yeah.
character. Like, I was waiting for that, but they were like,
Yeah.
no. It doesn't
No,
matter.
and that's
It's
based. And I like that. Like, where you don't have to call attention to it. Just be like, yeah, no, it doesn't matter. That's just his style. And he did
Yeah.
have like really good style throughout the entire film.
And then he lift the car with one hand because he's like, I see rock, I can do it too.
Yeah, and then also the Charlize Theron thing. The whole thing about the villain having to work with the person like they hate
She
is
died.
so overdone.
She fucking died in 8.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Did she?
Oh, I don't remember.
I am almost positive she died. Well,
I thought she lived.
I'm not even positive of anything.
I
this
thought she was
fucking
in 9
university
though.
won't,
But
no,
she was in 9.
No,
She was in 9.
wasn't.
Yeah, she was the villain in 9.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So no, she didn't die.
She
Hey,
didn't
nine,
die in
10, the
9?
plot
No,
doesn't matter.
I don't.
Like,
Well,
you
I
can
don't
say what you
remember.
want.
I don't remember she died in 9. She
I
might have
thought
died
she
in
died
9.
in 10.
Well, she
Fucking,
did.
I mean, we know
That-
Letty died and they
The
brought her
dude
back.
came in
Yeah.
and said, Charlize lost like 8 pints of blood and a human needs 4. And I was like, oh, okay, she's dead. And he's
Well,
like, no, she's in our
obviously.
facility.
Dude, no, there was so many times that it's like, okay, that person is clearly dead, and it's like, nope, no, they're fine. Hop on up. Like, I hate, like, and again, it was, the problem is it was like tedious.
Yeah.
It was boring. Like, there wasn't very many scenes that felt like over the top
That's what staying
fun.
awake was so difficult.
Yeah, exactly. The only over the top fun was the Hoover Dam thing. I'm not gonna lie, it was absolutely stupid and ridiculous. But like, listen, if I'm gonna come
Hitting
to
that
these movies,
fucking crane like that.
no, that was dude,
That-
that
I-
made me actively want to
I
fucking
just-
jump off a bridge
Yeah.
myself.
The whole
Holy shit.
time, me and Rocky are looking at each other during this movie, and there were so many moments where you're like, "Are we fucking serious?"
Yeah, like, did you see that too? Like, I literally thought I was having
Yeah.
a fever dream.
yeah.
Oh, God.
Some of it even, it feels like I got the feeling in that scene, I remember thinking that it was like being written by multiple people, because it feels like he should, because he's been doing it throughout the whole city, driving into it. when he gets to the bridge and there's a wide shot, I was like, oh, he's just going to drive his car and the ball off the bridge. But then it feels like someone else came in and said, no, that's not good enough. We need a crane. And I was like, what? He can just drive the ball off the cliff, off the bridge. Like, I don't understand why we're adding a crane. Because I hate the crane. Like,
no, I know. It looks so stupid.
Reasonable until that point. It was like dumb fun. And then you add a crane and it's like, well, now it's fucking stupid.
No, exactly. It's like when they went to space and they tried to do like some sciencey shit with it. It's like, no, do not explain anything.
Yeah, don't even try.
Just
and
fucking
it keeps
do
going off that too. They have all of the police cars flip off the air because they're like the explosion. And Dom's like, somehow he's like pulling the gears to like keep his car on the ground, and it's like doesn't even make sense.
Dude,
what are
no,
you
and then they have a fucking race right in the middle of the movie for no reason.
Well, and then he like blows up his friend's car. Hey, remember when this was a fun movie about a subculture of street racing? You guys remember that, right? Dude, the fucking 20-minute introduction where they sit there and they do this weird fan service like, oh yeah, anything they've done anything we asked. They've done anything in a car that's possible to do. And they go for 20 minutes just showing like previous movie shit they didn't need to be shown, all because like, hey guys, you remember this? You remember when the movies were good? It's like, why are you reminding me just to make me hate the other half of the movie so much? Oh my god, that intro pissed me off so much.
Yeah, I mean, luckily we haven't gotten CGI Paul Walker yet.
Not yet. They're going to though, like,
because you got to kill that memory.
No, literally, they said that like Paul Walker they're gonna probably like try to ease him back in. Like in the next one, they'll probably have him like
they hate Paul Walker.
Yeah, no, they hate the legacy of a human being that made their series what it is. Yeah,
they rather piss on his grave and just take dumps on it periodically.
Yeah, and then fucking bust loads to the cash that they're making. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And so basically, Paul Walker is going to probably. They're going to bring in Paul Walker, I guess, into like scenes that were from previous.
If they add him and they CGI him like at Dom's house at the end of 12, like I can deal with that. I don't know. Like at the end of 9, I thought they were going to do that because it's like they had like, oh, Brian's coming, and I I was going to have Brian, but then he just drove his car in and
they've done that a few times.
Leia in Rogue One.
There's things that it's just. And here's the thing,
because
they brought in his.
I'm praying to Vin Diesel, like just have like a little scene where it's like the end of the film, family, and Brian like lifts up a beer to cheers. But if he comes in and he's like got a fucking starring role, I'm like.
That's
like, Brian versus Tom Cruise. I'm like, fuck off.
No, literally that, and like they're bringing in his family. Apparently they're bringing in his daughter as well as his brother, which they've talked about the brother for a while. But like that's all cool. Like get them some royalties and all that. That's dope. Now the thing is though, is the director
a terrible actor.
His actual daughter.
His actual daughter, as far as I know.
She was she's in the film already.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, and so I couldn't recall if they brought her in Fast X.
She's the flight attendant that talks to John Cena.
Oh, okay.
She has a tiny little role. Yeah.
Okay, well, she'll get some royalties off it still. But so basically, I'm okay with all that, and I agree with you guys. If it's like at the end, like they did in 7, right, where it's like they kind of have this split off. Now I can understand if they have them say a line or two because like they have the ability to make these like voices very, very believable for longer periods of time. But here's the problem: is the director literally said that like he's going to have Paul Walker in new scenes, but from old movies. So it'll be like scenes from 5 that were never shot before, so they're done with CGI, but they're like, okay, it's from the past. And then what they're going to do is, he said, I can't see a world though where we don't completely introduce Paul Walker again though. That's what we are going to do to end the series. So I hope it's a small
Universal thing. Has no shame, so
no, they have no shame.
It's gonna be all Fast 5 because they've already done adding in Jason Momoa, and then at the end they added in The Rock as the guy that shot the dad, and it's going to keep going, and they'll add in fucking Tom Cruise as like the driver, and they'll add in Brian was like there and met Tom Cruise or whatever, like
yeah, and that's the thing is, again, I feel like they will probably have at least a couple scenes of like new shit for Paul Walker. And I absolutely hate that. If it's an ending bit to say cheers, whatever, like that's cool. I'm fine with that. But yeah, anything beyond that, it's like just stop. Please don't.
Who has the rights to his
estate,
name and likeness?
His estate would. So his estate would.
His family and stuff.
Yeah, so
Saying
it's,
it.
yeah, who usually there's like an appointee for the head of the state, and so that person gets to make the overall decision, so they can decide, yes, I'll allow his likeness to be used. So that's again why I said, like, if the family approves it and it's not something like crazy, that's fine, I get it. But yeah, even if the family approves it, if it's like more
Yeah.
than a little bit at the end, it's like no.
They
that's
might
a
only
disservice.
approve it. They
I
might
mean,
only approve it because they need money, though. To be fair.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
exactly,
say.
yes.
Money talks.
Yeah, it does, and that's like it's sad, and that's why they probably took small roles to get like royalties and stuff. I'm sure Vin Diesel probably is the one who got them to like got Universal to let them in anyway. To be honest, because Vin Diesel did have a good relationship with Paul Walker. I mean that seems true. But and then also.
well,
Yeah.
depends if you listen to The Rock or not.
Yeah, true. And then also, so Too Fast, Too Furious. This one will be pretty quick, actually. Listen, it's been a long time since I watched that movie, but I remember I did not hate it nearly as much as everybody else did.
Well, that's when they
Do you
first
want to give
introduced
your
Rome.
Do you want to give your hot take on the tier list?
Yeah, we might as well. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We have to do this. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my my screen with you over here on Discord. And then we can go ahead and do that. So,
You think Vin Diesel told his daughter, "Hey, be like your dad. Don't have talent."
probably.
Speaking of, I saw also Vin Diesel's daughter said she wants to like a starring role in the next film. And I was like, okay, interesting. And then he's like, yeah, but it's weird because she said she wants to play a young version of me.
Oh God, what? That doesn't.
It's like, what is he teaching his daughter? Like,
Oh,
come on, Vin.
Jesus Christ!
I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna go grab a soda real quick. I'm gonna be right back.
Oh my god, wait. Oh, that's the TV show. I was like, I haven't seen that movie.
Which? Oh yeah, Spy Racers.
Spy Races, what the fuck is that?
I had no clue. That's the first time I've ever even seen that image. Yeah.
Fast Spy Races. Let's see. There's 6 seasons? What
Holy
is this?
shit. What the fuck? How's it? What's it play on?
shit.
Is it like is it HBO or something? Oh, it's probably Universal, like Peacock or something.
It's Netflix.
Oh,
Starring Tony Toretto, Dom's cousin,
okay.
fighting a criminal organization called Shifter. What the fuck?
Okay.
There's a Mrs. Nobody? What is this?
I have no.
This is more
clue. I don't
fucked up
even
than
know where he
anything
got it
else.
from. I don't. Well, yeah, I can't speak on Fast and Furious Spy Racers.
What the fuck? What is that?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I saw there was 13 things
Season
on here.
Fast and Furious TV show.
Oh, okay. See, I saw there was 13 things on here instead of 12, and I was like, what the fuck is the thing? Okay, so let's go
Tony
ahead
Toretto.
and let's see where is the first Fast and the Furious. Let's see. Is it
It's the
This one?
second.
This
from
one.
A
last.
really
This one.
good question.
the Fast and the Furious? Okay, so the first one here, I would say is personally probably like.
Are we ranking this on the Fast and Furious scale? Or
Well, yeah, we're gonna rank it on a Fast and Furious scale because otherwise I would probably have all of them at a B. Like this would probably be at a B.
Yeah, I
or-
would say a B.
Yeah, but like on the
Don't
Fast and
say
Furious
all
scale.
of them at a B, because that includes like Fast X and stuff.
But
Yeah, but I think with
any-
Fast and the Furious, like we're gonna have to do it on its own scale. So I'm gonna say A for now. Fast and the Furious does a really good job of setting up kind of this subculture and understanding of how this little dynamic works and how like these things like car racing and etc. go down
he's
and
an
the wagers that
undercover
are done.
cop who then starts to feel guilt because he starts to like the
The people
sister,
that
Mia,
and the people that he's around, he generally like grows respect for, and that's kind of like a twist that's within the movie later on. I think generally speaking, like the
truck driver
acting
with
and
the shotgun is crazy.
the truck driver with the shotgun, I don't remember that part.
Oh, it's the end.
Okay, I remember which one is the one with the Asian dude who was running the gang.
That's Tokyo.
That's Tokyo. Okay, I thought there was one where Vin was in it and he took down like the Asian dude that was in. Okay, I'll look it up later. But so
There
generally,
is an Asian villain. villain, yeah, in one of them.
Yeah,
I think
in one of
yeah,
them.
no, I think it is this one. But he's
Yeah, I
such a
thought
minor-
it was. That's why. Remember, he puts like
Oh,
oil
yeah,
in the
no,
dude.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, he like makes the
Yeah.
one dude drink
Yes.
oil, which was a crazy scene.
He's a very forgettable villain, though.
He is. That was the only scene that like really stuck out to me. But generally speaking, though, this film does what the Fast and Furious tries to do, like the best out of probably most of them, or if not all of them. It's simple, it's fun, it's kind of stupid at times, but it's like does again what it does wants to do pretty well. What do you guys think?
I mean, I like the first Fast and Furious movie. It came out at a time when like Need for Speed Underground was a big thing, which is one of my favorite racing games of all time. But I mean, there's a lot of great shots, and a lot of it is it's not CGI based. So they were essentially using like practical things and real explosions and that type of stuff, which is why I really enjoyed the first one. Now more than ever, I respect and appreciate the first one. So I mean, if we weren't ranking it even on a Fast and Furious scale, I would have had it at a B. But yeah, on a Fast and Furious scale, I definitely would say it's definitely an A.
Okay, what do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I agree. It's there's a reason there's a whole franchise because of this one film. It's very good.
True.
Yep.
Okay. So now let's go to Too Fast, Too Furious. So this is going to be the hot take. Now, Too Fast, Too Furious, I enjoy. I don't think it's amazing. Like, I don't think it's as good as Fast and Furious. But I think that it's pretty decent. And I don't care for Vin Diesel as is that much. Now, listen, Tyrese Gibson is not that great of a trade-off between the two. But generally speaking, I think on acting...
He thinks Jared Leto's a great actor, so...
Yeah, that's true. But I think on acting capability, Vin Diesel and Tyrese Gibson are pretty much even to me, to be honest. I liked actually the dynamic more between Gibson and Paul Walker here than I do with the Dom and Paul Walker kind of dynamic. On top of that, the villain was pretty like menacing, even though he, all the villains I think in these are somewhat forgettable. But like there is like the scene with the rat where he like puts the rat on this dude's stomach, puts a metal bucket over and like heats it up until the rat like digs through the man's like organs and shit to kill him to get out. So like there's certain things like that really stood out. And then also there's some of the stupid fun stuff I like there was the stupid bit at the end where they literally like jump a car onto a boat as it's moving. But at that time again, I think they actually had to. Did they do that for real? Like they must have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like pretty crazy. Eva Mendes is also here.
Yep.
Which I really like Eva Mendes. So that's the thing is like this film, while it is stupid, I think like at parts, I think that like some of the stupid stuff can be pretty funny. I think that generally speaking, it has like some standout scenes that I enjoy. The dynamics between people were good, and I don't think it's like that much like better or worse than some of the other films, but yeah, I think this one for me is a B. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I would say it's a B. I love Eva Mendes in this movie.
Yeah.
Paul Walker and Tyrese had really good chemistry together in it, which is why it works really well. And then I just like the idea of like there's just like essentially Kingpin or a dude that running like a drug cartel, and he has these racers compete because he wants to see who's the best racer to take on this mission that he has. And it's a very simplistic movie, but it's just entertaining throughout, and it doesn't try to overdo itself or get like too full of itself throughout. So yeah, it's definitely my second. Well, I wouldn't say second, but I would say it's a B for sure.
Okay, what do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I think it's I think in terms of like the franchise, I know it's super disliked. I suffered greatly because I watched all of these films before Fast X.
Oh no!
Because I'm a psycho. I didn't hate this film. I didn't love it, but I also I didn't think it was bad, which is like the reputation it has.
Yeah.
And it's got some good lines, like fucking what's his name? It's always like, "We hungry, we hungry."
Yeah.
Oh, and Ludacris.
Luda's there.
Yeah, he's introduced in it too.
Yeah. Like I think it's a solid B.
Yeah, I never understood what people... I think it's just because there's a big Vin Diesel following for some fucking reason, and so people were just mad that Vin Diesel wasn't there. But I think he wasn't there because he wanted a shit ton of money. as well.
Well, yeah, that's kind of why he booted everybody. Like
Yep.
most
True.
cast
Yeah.
members
Fuck Vin
throughout
Diesel.
Fast and Furious have been either pushed in or forced to take less because Diesel wants more money.
Yep.
The
Fuck Vin Diesel.
the
All my
weird
homies like
like
Vin Diesel.
the weird like Wikipedia thing, which probably is just like rewritten based on what he has said afterwards, is that he didn't like the script,
Okay.
which has just become a meme that like the film is so bad that even Vin Diesel didn't like it. But I think it's literally just him like rewriting history afterwards, because it's not
Yeah.
like the only problem I have with the film is literally just like the Fast and the Furious plot is really good, and then like Too Fast kind of like does away with a lot of it. Like you have Brian but no Mia, or like a lot of that progression anymore, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But it still comes back around eventually, so it's not egregious.
Yeah.
And it's Vin's fault for not wanting to be in the fucking film.
Facts.
Well,
facts.
yeah. How can you read Fast 10 script and be like, that's solid?
Yeah, this
But
is the thing.
Too Fast,
Dude,
Too
he compared it
Furious
to
is darker.
Tolkien. Like, he was like, oh, even the Lord of the Rings had to come to an end. It's like, bro, are you fucking with me? Like, these people
Yeah, well,
have to all be
Well, no,
kidding.
yeah. Vin Diesel comes off as a guy who's
He's
so
also
full of himself. It's ridiculous.
He's petitioning himself for Best Actor. Have you guys heard
That's
this?
psychotic. No, I have not.
He now that they've got the most successful saga of all time, he wants the most Oscars of any saga.
Oh, fuck.
So they're going to start petitioning for it.
Dude, what is this?
He's never acted in a
Ever.
movie that, like, the
I
only
think the
movie.
His best
saddest
movie is The
part-
Pacifier. Sorry.
No,
I think the
Triple X.
saddest part is that he
Nah,
thinks
pacifier.
that he's acting. Like,
Yeah.
what I'm starting to believe is he actually thinks he's acting and he just, like, can't. Which
Yeah.
I think is even worse.
No, it's sad. That's what it is.
He's like,
Isn't
guys,
it?
I put in an Oscar-worthy performance. This was the performance of my life, and it's
Yeah,
Fast X. Like,
dude.
It's like,
what?
that's your best.
Yeah, and like, did you see Guardians yet?
Oh, it
three.
hasn't come into
Well,
I still
Australia.
haven't seen 3.
okay, yeah.
No, I watched Fast X instead.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, yeah, but yeah, even like with Groot, all he does is say Groot. You know what I mean? So it's like his biggest roles usually have like the littlest amount of acting.
Well, that's
it
why
seems.
him and The Rock didn't get along. They're both full of shit.
Yeah, that's
and
true. They're both
themselves.
terrible. Yep, facts. Okay, well that's good. We'll leave that at a B then. Let's see. Where's Fast and the Furious 3?
There's also the 2 short films. You can just chuck them in.
A Tokyo
where are
Drift
those?
was the next one.
Oh yeah, Tokyo Drift.
Awesome.
Okay, so which ones are the short films, real quick? Is it Turbocharged?
The 5th one? Yep.
Turbocharged.
Turbocharged.
I've
And
never
Los
seen it.
Panteros.
And Los Venderos. Okay, so both of these we don't need because they're shorts, so we don't need those. And then so yeah, we'll do
and
Tokyo
the
Drift.
TV show's there too.
Is
Yeah,
that the
fucking
which
hell.
one? This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get rid of that. So these 3 we don't have to rate. So let's go ahead and let's go to Tokyo Drift. This is Tokyo Drift, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift is a really weird one. I like some of the people in it. Like we get Han, and Han is dope.
Yeah.
And I really like the setting of it. Obviously, a white dude going out to Tokyo, and kind of it shows like another side of the subculture of like street racing, but also shows it through the eyes of like the Japanese like lens of how they do it. And so that was really dope. And generally speaking, I think that the main thing is that I just don't remember a ton about this movie. And so I think also I didn't care for the main actor that much. I thought his acting was kind of poor, but that I think that because of that, it's kind of just in my brain like kind of mid. So I would say it's probably like a C for me. What do you guys say?
Yeah. I like Han. The actor who is Country Paul Walker is terrible. I don't like him at all. The story he had definitely has a lot of promise, and it's if it wasn't for that, dude, I think it would have been far better. I also don't like the beginning of the film with the whole we'll race for your girl.
Yeah, that's so
which is so
fucked.
weird, especially nowadays.
So fucked.
Even then, it was just
Dude,
like,
I forgot
what?
about that.
But
oh my god.
like,
So this is sexual assault.
but I love the Japanese culture, and a lot, that was represented here. But the biggest thing is drifting is very big in Japan.
Yeah.
And it's the
That was cool.
Yeah, which is the reason why.
And he had to,
Honda
like,
Civics
have
are
a
very
steep-
popular in Japan.
Yeah, and he had a steep like learning curve of like trying to
Yeah,
get
he
that
had
down.
to go through
Yeah.
and try to figure out how the hell to do this because
Yeah.
he fucked up so badly
No,
at the
that's
beginning.
true.
But
I forgot about that.
yeah, and so I like Tokyo Drift's other characters outside of
The main
Country
guy.
Paul Walker.
Okay, yeah. All right, what do you say? What do you say, Peter?
Yeah, I think this is my guilty pleasure in the Fast and Furious franchise. I quite like this film purely because I think the two things, the Japanese setting, and every time they put on Tokyo Drift, it's such a bop. The first 5 seconds of that song gets me so hyped every time.
No, that's fair.
But yeah, it's not an amazing film that people are underrating. I think it's just very enjoyable. I can agree with a C, but it is out of all of the first 4 that I watched. It was the one that I was actually excited watching. Whereas a lot of the other ones, it's kind of oh yeah, this is decent.
Okay, well, we'll say between a B and a C.
Tokyo Drift and Too Fast.
Pardon?
Would you switch Too Fast, Too Furious to a C, or do you think that both would be a B in your book?
It's tough because I think Paul Walker's much better than Lucas Black, and the
that's
dynamic
the problem, right?
acting wise was really good. Tokyo Drift is just the setting,
that's true
for me.
No, I agree. I think that I think we should just say we'll leave it at C, and we'll say it's kind of between a B and a C, because I agree fully with the idea that if literally just the main guy was different, it could even possibly have been an A. But generally speaking, because of that, I think in between a B and C is a
and then
fair
Han
place
died.
to land.
And
then they bring him back.
Magically came back to life.
Oh my god, dude, I know.
I swear to God,
And that was a sad and cool scene at the end of that movie. That's why one of the things that made Tokyo Drift stand out to me was you actually had this loss that felt genuine.
They must have the Lazarus pit in this world.
It's really tough. It's really tough to go back and rate it because in hindsight, because I watched all these films and I hadn't seen 9.
Okay.
So when I watched Tokyo Drift, I liked it a lot more than I do now because obviously he dies, and then the third act is the main character dealing with his death and
it's super intense.
On his own beating the villain, and it's really cool.
And
but then when I got to 9 and they brought Han back, I was
no.
Well, they take away from the impact of his own death, and that's what sucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they do that, and that's the same thing with Letty. When Letty died, it was what the fuck?
Yeah, and
then they're like, you gotta bring him back, because that's what makes...
She just lost her memory, that's why she
Even though
didn't come
Michelle
back.
Rodriguez is an extremely talented actress, who I like
I
a
actually
lot.
really like
I've liked
Michelle
her ever
Rodriguez,
since I saw her in Resident Evil, the movie.
Weird call. I didn't know she was in that, but I like Michelle Rodriguez. Dungeons and Dragons movie, she was really good in. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go to which one?
Fast and Furious.
Okay, Fast and Furious. This is
I'm pretty sure that's 4.
Third or 4. Yeah, 4. Okay, that's right. 6, I don't. Okay, so now we're getting to the ones I don't remember. Go ahead.
The names are so fucking annoying. Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, and then it's Fast and Furious. Then 5 is Fast 5. 6 is Fast and Furious 6, and then Furious 7, Fate. It's F9,
Jesus.
fucking hell.
Well, it doesn't have the in Fast and Furious, so that's the
different thing, guys.
The main difference.
It's like Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad versus Suicide Squad.
To even go further, I was listening through Tokyo Drift soundtrack, and the next one after that was Fast and Furious soundtrack. But it was for Fast and Furious 6 because they called the soundtrack Fast and Furious soundtrack instead of... Yeah, they're just... The names make no sense.
Yeah.
This film...
It really is.
This film is so shit.
Okay.
This film is horrible, man.
Can you remind me a little bit about this film? Because I do not remember 4.
This is when Gal Gadot's introduced.
Oh, I remember this one, and he's they try to rob him. Okay, yeah.
The villain's completely forgettable, but the scene in this film where Dom is investigating Letty's or someone's car crash, and he's just sniffs the road.
Dude, oh my god! And then he gets a flashback or something.
He can just visualize the crime scene like he's fucking Sherlock Holmes.
That was so stupid.
What's happening?
I forgot that happened, dude. Yeah, no, I remember that. He sees Letty's car flipping and shit, all from sniffing it like a goddamn German Shepherd. Oh my god. Yeah, that movie was absolute dog shit. On top of that, it was like you mentioned, the villain was again extremely forgettable. They sexually harassed Gal Gadot and they put her in as minimal clothing as possible, at least twice.
I rewatched this film 3 days ago, and I don't even remember Gal Gadot in this film. So.
Well, maybe this isn't. Oh, well, Jason mentioned the.
Yeah, I saw.
So she is. I just,
okay.
I remember.
Oh yeah, she's here.
So
I feel you. It's so bad that it's just like, what the fuck, man. Yeah, this film was extremely bad. I don't know why it's at a C. I'm actually like, yeah, this one I'm down to put at.
I'm at a D or F.
Yeah, I'm at a D or F too. I'm down for an F actually.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
F.
The fact that I had to sit through fucking
Yeah,
Vin
for
Diesel
Fast
becoming
and Furious.
Batman, like, fuck off.
Yeah, there's
He's
a
like,
reason that they
The
get too.
tires smell like the car flipped 6 times.
Yeah, dude. It's like, how do you know this? Oh my god. Okay. So then we have, from there we have Fast 5. So Fast 5, I actually think I liked Fast 5 a bit more. That's the thing though, is when we get to 5 and like 4 and beyond even, I just start forgetting, like they all start blending together.
Yeah.
So this was the Rio heist one. So this is the one where they
Yes.
go to Rio. I like this one a good bit. I thought there were a lot of, like, this is where they really started getting
This is the one where they
crazy with
first
it.
introduced The Rock.
Yeah, and it becomes more of like, it starts becoming more of like a spy thriller in some ways, where they have these weird villains trying to like destroy certain countries of the world. But generally speaking, this is where it also started to get like really over the top with some scenes. Like, I think this is the one where they have like the fucking vault so that they like take, and then it like smashes through all sorts of buildings.
Well, yeah,
and shit.
that's where they bring it back to 10.
Yeah, they bring that back in 10. And so, like, this one had a lot of really over-the-top crazy shit that I thought was really fun. And, like, it was stupid, but in a good way. I don't... For me, this one would be at, like, probably between a B and an A, but probably more towards a B. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, Fast and Furious 5, I would say it's probably a B or an A.
Okay.
It's probably one of the best ones in all of the Fast and Furious
Yeah,
films. So, and it was
The Rock's introduction was good, too. I like
I
that.
didn't mind The Rock.
For this series, he's good.
Yeah, for this series he works. So I would definitely have it probably at a B or A.
Okay, what do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I think I mean, it's Fast and Furious, so I'm relatively happy with a lot of the rankings. I personally, this was the first film that I saw when I was much younger,
Okay.
and grew up watching like 5, 6, and onwards. And I think this is like the pinnacle of like what all of these other films are, like the rest of the saga. I think this
Okay.
film has the best of that. Like, rather than like, even though the heist is ridiculous, it's not like they just cut to a heist. There's like the whole second act of them like planning it, practicing, like learning
Yeah.
how to like
Structure.
make the bolt
Yep.
and stuff. Like it's like actually well written. The only problem I have with the film is the villain is like super forgettable.
Yeah,
He's
and
just
that's the
kinda
problem with
I
all
thought
of
The Rock
them,
was
man.
actually going to be the villain originally.
Yeah.
That would have been
That would have been...
The Rock as like a Brazilian drug
Oh,
lord
that'd
would have
been
been
lit.
And Vin Diesel's hatred of The Rock and Rock
Yeah,
hating
playing
Vin
fair.
Diesel, it would have worked well on camera.
No, it would have. It would have. Yeah, that. And I actually agree with you. I think that like that's. I moved it up to an A because thinking about it, it does do everything that you would want from a Fast and the Furious, and it does it pretty decently. And so, like, I think that like the main thing is this was where there was a big tone shift. So I think it is fair to put it next to Fast and the first Fast and the Furious, because the first Fast
This
and
is kinda
Furious.
like the next trilogy.
Exactly, the first Fast and the Furious set
Oh,
up
and this
like
has
this
the
one
female cop,
subculture.
Elena.
Yeah, oh,
who
yeah, and I
is,
like her.
Yeah, Dom Wonderful.
Yeah, I liked her. And so generally, like Fast and the Furious, the first one set up like the subculture aspects and whatnot, and we kind of got through that for the first like 4 films, and then by 5 is when it starts getting more of like, oh, we have like a world threat type thing that we need to come in, and like it became more of like just a pure action like hero film, and it did everything like from 5 onward in a quintessential way, similar to how the first one did for the first 4 films. So yeah, I think moving it to
I
A
think
is
this
good.
one, additionally, is one of the only films in the entire franchise with actual stakes, because even though they very quickly undermine it, but the actual heist that they perform, they not only pull off, but after the credits and the next film's first act, everyone's rich now. Like, they actually successfully pulled off the heist. It
Yeah.
set them up for life. It kind of fucks over the rest of the franchise because now they don't have to do heists. They have to come up with like bigger stakes.
Yeah.
But I think like it does like a lot of really good things. And I also feel like, even though it's not like a great film overall, the stuff that they had in Fast X connected to 5 did give me a little more enjoyment of 5, because Dante's like, reasonably good. The sister connection's like alright, like it's Fast 5's good enough that they're like, for the finale we have to link it back to Fast 5.
That's true. No, that's very true. And also this was the one with Reyes isn't very memorable, but when we get over to 6, which is I believe the next one, 6 I actually like a lot, because I do think that what is it, the Shaw brothers, and we first start off with the older brother, I believe, and then it goes to the younger one, or vice versa. But generally speaking, I like, this is one of the few ones that I actually really enjoy the villain, and generally speaking, I think that it kind of, the problem with this one is that it just didn't do anything new. It took Fast 5 because it knew it had like a good thing with Fast 5, and then it tried to just kind of do the same thing in a lot of ways, just with like a bit of a better villain, and I think that it worked in that regard, but it didn't come to the like heights that 5 did, and I don't think that it was like that like amazing because of that lack of like a unique quality to it. But out of all the films, it's one of the ones I enjoy a lot more. I think personally, like 1 and 2 I love, and then 5 and 6 and 7 are like the other 3 that I really like. And so those are the ones that like I would put like higher up generally. So yeah, that's why I'd put this one at B. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I like Fast and Furious 6. I just don't like Gina Carano.
She's in this?
Yeah, she's in
Oh
it.
shit, it's Doc. Okay, we might knock it down to a C
Yeah.
just for that one.
But yeah, I love the Shaw brothers.
Yeah.
Because they don't introduce Statham in 6, they introduce him in 7, because he comes because his brother is killed. But the guy who played Shaw, it was really
he's
good.
really good.
He's probably the best villain.
Yeah.
Outside of Jason
Momoa.
Momoa, I still think he did a great job.
No,
but,
Momoa did really good.
I would say he's the best villain outside of that, and
Momoa,
so that's the reason. I would say it's a B. I don't know if Fast 6 is the one that they said Letty was alive, or was it 7?
I think it was. No, I think it was. Well, it might have been. Which one had Elena in it? It was 6, I think. Then.
So,
or it was the end of 5.
yeah,
Well, Elena dies.
when I ran back through these, I did take some notes, and Fast 6 is the one where she's back. But I also noted that like no one reacts. Like every time they bring up like Letty's alive, everyone's like,
I
No
think
one's like,
they
"Wait,
like
what?"
kind of realize it at the end of 5. Like I'm pretty sure Elena gives like him the
Right.
thing that like, hey, she's alive or whatever, and then he's like, oh, I have to go like explore this and find out if it's really her. Like I think that, and so that's maybe why it's a little less like mentioned. But yeah, that's where that comes back in. But okay, so yeah, so are we all good on a B then? It sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, like I think the ending, the back half of the film's so weird though. This is the one that has the like infamous Rock talking to Vin Diesel, but they were filmed on different sets. So like
okay.
Rock's face is like way bigger than Vin Diesel's face, and
I
like
have to rewatch
I
that.
really-
don't remember.
it's so fucking weird. It's like and then it cuts like every time they cut to the reverse shot, Vin Diesel's face is like 2 times bigger than the Rock's face, and it's like a horrible like CG photoshopping thing. 6 is also the one where they show someone kill, like the post-credit scene is someone killing Han, but they don't reveal who it is yet, I think.
Okay.
But like the back half's a bit weird, but yeah, I can agree with a B.
Okay. Cool.
It's still very fun.
And then let's go ahead and get into Fast 7. Now, Fast 7 is particularly good because I think of like the ending here was really good. However, outside of the ending, I don't remember quite quite much. But this was the one where the other brother comes in to try to
And
get
Paul
revenge.
Walker's final one.
Yeah, and this is Paul Walker's final one, and at the end we have the like really touching scene with the "See You Again" song that went massively viral. And so generally speaking, this one, like I said, I do like it because of that ending and because of like the Shaw brothers again are really good. But as far as I remember, it didn't do anything that like stood out crazy to me. But I could be misremembering because I do know like this one by a lot of people is like regarded as one of the best. But
Yeah,
so
it's
Peter, you
quite
watched
a
it
weird
recently,
one.
right? Okay.
The middle of the film has they do like race wars again, which is from like
Okay.
the first 2 films.
Uh-huh.
So it's got like a lot of racing stuff in it.
Well, that's
But yeah, like the villain's pretty good, but I know people obviously prefer Statham, but I'm with Jason. Like I think his brother was a better villain. Like Jason Statham kind of just does Jason Statham.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
does the same thing every time. Yeah.
But yeah, it's very enjoyable. I mean, it's hard not to have like a biased take on this because like the ending and stuff. Just like I remember in those years when they came out in cinemas, just crying in the cinema. So like that's my main experience of the film was just being like super upset. So you know,
No, I really, yeah.
Yeah, now if in one of these Fast 10 sequels, they do Paul Walker CGI, then I'm gonna come back to it and I'm gonna trash it. because
Yeah,
they,
we'll have to.
They shit on their own
Yeah.
endings, so at that point. But,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
So we actually have 3 Bs so far.
Yeah, we're actually like
But
it's not doing too.
Now
too
we
terrible.
get into the trash.
Yeah, no, and again we're
Yeah.
rating these off of the ranking for just Fast and Furious. These would probably all come down a bit if we were ranking on a more objective scale. But let's go ahead. What the fuck is this one?
That's 9.
This is 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there
Fate of the
8?
Furious
Where's
is 8?
Okay, I have no recollection of 8. Does anybody else want to take it?
Since Peter recently watched it.
Yeah, Peter, do you remember this one?
yeah, this one.
Oh, does
Fate
this
of the
one?
Furious kind of sets up like Hobbs and Shaw. Like there's a lot of that
Yeah.
going throughout the film, and Jason Statham kind of becomes a good guy.
Okay.
The ending, what do you call it, set piece with Jason Statham on the plane, saving the baby and like trying to keep quiet and stuff, is like action wise and comedy wise, I think one of the best scenes they've had. But that was like all that really stood out to me, like kind of one scene. Like the rest of it, I don't even remember who the villain's Cypher, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
hate
okay,
her.
dude.
Now
So
I-
do
Oh,
I. Let's
now I
go.
remember this film. Now I
No, I
remember
do
this
too.
film.
Now I hate her
They
so.
kill. They killed his
Yeah,
Dom's
Helena.
baby mama.
Yeah, Elena.
Yeah.
This is
and-
the one where Dom becomes evil.
Yeah, or they think
Yeah.
he's evil.
Yeah.
They don't know why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. I remember this movie. Yeah. No, this movie was extremely fucking
And
weird.
then submarine.
Yeah. Oh my god. No, actually, this one's at a D for me. I'm gonna be.
How come they have so much stuff with Dom's family, and then like in this one he just has a different fucking. I mean, I guess the plots will make sense, but he has a different girlfriend and a child with her. and
Yeah.
it's like,
No. Well, and also, which
he's not
one is
really
the-
a family.
Does he introduce
thought
John
Letty
Cena in
was
this one?
dead, so that's the reason why he got with Elena. And
Yeah.
then once he found out, Letty was
Yeah,
actually
but
alive,
it's still just weird because, like, he never like tried to just
But it
hunt her down
lessened
or
the
nothing.
death of Elena by a lot.
Absolutely.
Because once he got back with Letty,
It's like, oh, we don't need her anymore, so
Yeah.
no, everybody forgets about her.
yeah,
It's
so
so,
then
fucked.
she's thrown
Yeah.
away basically.
Yeah, it's actually really fucked. And then they don't introduce John Cena until the next one, right?
Mr. Nobody's introduced. In
Oh,
it.
that's the one thing I like about Fast 8. I like because this had a God's Eye in it. I think, right, where they use God's Eye in order to like see all the
Oh.
different.
So the other guy, so Peter had asked who that guy was.
Mr. Nobody's Kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Clint Eastwood's kid.
No, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
ooh,
Yeah.
so he's just
That
like
makes
famous.
sense.
Yeah, Scott Eastwood's his
Okay,
name.
Scott Eastwood.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
the
I've seen
thing
him in
is,
stuff
like,
before.
He
I
looks
was
a lot
genuinely
like his
feeling
dad.
if it was like Chris Hemsworth or like Ryan Gosling in that role in Fast X,
Yeah.
I might have gotten more enjoyment out of that part of the film.
Yeah.
But I just didn't
yeah.
like that actor that they cast. I was like, get him off the screen. He's not
Yeah,
doing
No,
anything.
he's
these
not
Nepo
good.
kids gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of him. 100%. Yeah, I think like the Kurt Russell as Mr. Nobody I like, but yeah, just Fast 8 was so strange and stupid.
Yeah.
That we have to
Like
leave
I
it
think
at
yeah, like personally, purely to give the rest of the films a fair ranking,
Yeah.
my ranking of it would be a C because I know the next stuff is like,
Really
like
bad?
Fast 9. I
Okay.
have to put
Yeah.
No,
it's
I'm
like-
putting these at an F. All right, I'm gonna go right.
Yeah.
I'm saying that right now. So let's actually just dive into 9. So 9, the biggest thing that for me is he has a brother, even though his whole thing is about family.
Yeah.
And he didn't know he had a brother still alive. And then they go into this whole thing about like his dad and how the dad tried to throw a race in order to make some money or
Never
some
explain
shit.
how John Cena's white.
Yeah, like, dude, I don't.
Like, how do you pick the whitest
it
actor
baffles me.
possible to play Dom's brother?
It still
It
baffles
makes
people to this day. Every time he appears on WWE, everyone's like, "How is John Cena white?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we all question it.
I love John Cena. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just a weird.
No,
casting.
it's weird, and then and that's the thing is it's a weird casting, but I think in actually the next one in 10, John
I
Cena
like
was
him
one
in
of the
10.
better parts of
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
I don't like him in mini films, but I did like him in 10.
Literally same, yeah. Peacemaker and the in
Suicide
10,
Squad.
yeah, as Peacemaker, and then in Fast 10 are one of the only couple things that I
Oh,
actually
and
enjoyed.
then
about it. Die Hard 2.
Yeah, Die Hard 2.
Die Hard 2 is a fantastic movie. So, Fast 9 was just dog shit from front to back. The story was all over the place. It didn't make much sense. They try to play up the family meme even more, and whenever a meme becomes, sentient and self-aware, it just becomes so
Yeah, they
cringe
went to
that it makes
space.
me want to gag. They went to
Oh, yeah,
fucking
they went to
space.
space.
Dude, at the beginning, there's this, scene where Tyrese Gibson is being followed by, 20 fucking military members. He picks up an AK, screams, "Ah!" and he doesn't look, and he just randomly sprays and kills 20 fucking military members in 2 seconds, and then a car falls on him directly from above, from a cliff above, and he just gets out from under it, and Ludacris even calls to it and says, "How did you survive that?" And then Tyrese Gibson says something like, "Don't question it, bruh." Literally, it became a meme, and it knew it was a meme, and then it went and it was listen, we're just gonna, hey kids, look at me, I'm one of you guys, see, we understand memes, look at us, internet, we're internet culture too.
They
It's
wanted to be
no.
superheroes so bad, they literally made them superheroes.
Yeah, literally, they wanted to be 007 and Superman, and they're fuck it, we're gonna go for it.
Well, at least Daniel Craig bleeds and gets cut up, and
Yeah, no, it's true.
The Bonds always got cut up.
No, that's true. Yeah, that shit pissed me
Yeah.
off. This entire film of F9 made no sense, and it is absolutely an F for me. What do you guys?
I really want to see Tom Cruise get into these next films, and they do crass, and Vin Diesel's yeah, in Fast 9 we went to space, and Tom's yeah, but I'm going to space. I mean, it's no, but we've been to space, man.
Yeah, we did it. We already went out there. We faked it, like the real moon landing.
Yeah, I just, there was no, when I watched this in theaters, I kept thinking, there's no fucking way, because I heard the rumors that they were going to go to space. I was no
Dude.
fucking way they're this fucking bad. And sure
And
enough,
they try to explain it, and then they're like, "Oh, we ran out of fuel, guys," and
yeah,
all this.
they try, and when they
Dude,
try
it
to
pisses
explain
me off
science,
so much.
it just reminds me how retarded the
The writers are. Yeah, it reminds me how stupid the writers are when they try to sit there and make up some bullshit. Where they're like, "Oh, dude, rocket science is one of the easiest sciences. It's literally hey, you just have to get the trajectory right, and then the fuel for that amount of miles. That's literally it. But somehow they fuck even that up, even though they make it to space somehow, and then they have to fucking float towards the space station, and then they magically get pulled into the fucking space station because they just happen to be at the right height and the right fucking time. None of it makes any sense.
Yeah, the people that, as soon as I found, I saw people defending Fast 9, the fan base, I was like, oh, you people are addicted. I still hold it to it. These people that have to see all these Fast and Furious movies, no matter what, not because they want to review it for a channel, or something like that.
Yeah, we have an excuse.
They have to sit there and see it. I just realized it's like a crack addiction. They need their fix.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it
it's
had
just-
the biggest opening, right?
It did have a big opening, yeah. Yeah, it really did. So I think we all agree on NF, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Fast
Yeah.
10. I think Fast 10 is better than Fast 9, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I don't.
I
But
think
you know
it's
what
better
else?
than 10. Yeah. What? Go ahead.
Fast 9, the flashbacks are so weird, but there's also Cardi B.
Oh
in
my
Fast 9.
god.
When Cardi B came on screen, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, yeah,
then,
in Fast 10.
A few minutes later, is she in 10?
Yeah, didn't she come
was
on to
like
the
God.
race. Yeah,
Yeah.
during the race, she's the
Oh.
girl who drops the
She-
flag.
the flag?
She
Yeah.
had, when there's an arrest or something, she was one of the cops in Fast 9.
She was?
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I don't
And
remember
then-
that.
2 minutes later, the next scene has Charlize Theron. I don't know if you guys remember this, but this was when I started fast forwarding Fast 9. I haven't watched Fast 9 fully because this scene after Cardi B, and then they just cut to Charlize Theron, and she starts talking about to the villain. She's like, "You're no Han Solo, you're Luke Skywalker," and he's like, "Yeah, but you're Princess Leia," and they keep making Star Wars references for 3 minutes, and I was like, fuck this. I'm not sitting through this. Like,
Oh yeah,
it was
fuck that.
so cringe. Like, they just kept going, and I was like, shut the fuck up.
No, I know
Like,
that's
like,
how.
have actual plot, like not just. Oh, you're kind of like Han Solo, but I'm like Greedo.
Dude, I know, and they think I don't know if they think it's funny or if it's like the "Hey fellow kids" meme. I really just don't understand it at this
I mean,
point.
they have to know it's bad.
I would hope, but I don't know, man. Tyrese
But then they're
Gibson
talking
seems
about
psychosis.
Oscars and that. So.
Yeah, he seems like he's got a bout of psychosis. So real quick, Fast 10, I would say it's still an F, but I think it's better than Fast 9 by like a tiny bit because Fast 9 had no redeemable aspects at all, where Jason Momoa at least did something in Fast 10. But Fast 10, horrible fucking film. None of it was like, all of it felt like it was just there to kind of like drag the runtime on. Like this whole thing about like, you know, getting Dom to be wanted by all these governments and then just slowly fucking with him. It's like you would think this would be a psychological horror movie, but they don't do that at all. It's a fucking supposed to be a fun race movie with a bunch of stupid shit, and then they have all these like turns. They have all these like. Wait, hold on. That's yours.
No. Mine's just fine. I don't know.
I'm trying to put it there.
Oh.
Okay. Is it good? Is it fixed?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like it fixed. You there, Peter? Sorry.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So Fast 10, like it had like the only redeeming factor was Jason Momoa, as we talked about, and yeah, none of it felt like it actually had any like coherent plot. It felt more like a vignette, like a bunch of vignettes loosely linked together by various different things. Also, they always have to do this. Let's go, you know, gather the people together and all this other fucking bullshit. At least at the beginning, like I was like, oh hey, look, they're all here together. We don't need to go have this like massive thing. And they're like, no, we still need to go and remind everybody of the name of every single fucking person and the stupid shit that they've done in this series. It was so frustrating. The entire thing bored the shit out of me, and it's just a terrible film. What do you guys got to say?
Yeah, no, it's one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So, oh god, like even it's the same thing with Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh
Even though
god,
Pedro Pascal is fantastic.
You can't save it.
You can't save dog
No.
shit. You know, it's still dog shit, no matter how you dress it or
Absolutely.
what spices
You can put it
on
in a gown, but it's still gonna
Yeah.
be dog shit at the end.
So
of the day.
when you look at it, it's like, well, the Fate of the Furious is a D, and then you have the last two are Fs. It's just gonna get progressively
Oh,
worse.
absolutely, yeah.
And I don't know how it gets worse than 10. Like, but
Yeah,
they'll
10
find a
is
way
so
because
bad,
they
dude.
always do. But yeah, it should have ended at Fast 7. I mean, that I've always stood by that. I still think that to this day. I mean, Fast 7 should have. As soon as Paul Walker died, that was it. But
Yeah.
they couldn't help it. The money was too good.
No, I fully agree. Yeah, what do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I think all of the like Cypher, Mr. Nobody stuff being added in is so weird. It's really sad in hindsight because I personally feel if like Fast 8 was this film, like you had Dante and stuff, the franchise wouldn't be as down as it is. Just cut out like Mr. Nobody and shit, and just follow Furious 7 up with like the kid from Fast 5. Like the other thing with like praising Dante in this is it's tough because I don't know if you guys have seen, but I've been seeing people say he's like given a Heath Ledger performance. And I'm like,
I don't know.
can we
that's-
not?
That's crazy.
I like
dude.
Jason Momoa, but
Yeah, that's psychotic.
I don't even think.
Yeah,
Dude,
like,
what
he
is
gave
with
us
everybody
that.
wanting to compare shit to like The Dark Knight and stuff? I don't understand. Like, is there just some
Yeah,
weird
like,
obsession?
It's like a good performance, but I think people are just like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like his character reminded me more of like the cheesy '80s like Jim Carrey Riddler more than like
Yeah.
the Joker.
No, I agree.
I
Like,
can
he's
see
got
that.
a lot of camp to it and a lot of zest. I thought like he was the only part of the film that was like enjoyable, and he was really enjoyable. Like I actually enjoyed him quite a bit, and he's in the film quite a lot. But yeah, I can't see it working over 3 films. But then I guess you have fucking Robert Downey Jr. next time somehow.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. I think like again, there's just so much you can do with cars and shit like this. You know what I mean? Like, they've done so many stunts. You have the jumping from the fucking, what's that tallest building? The Burj Khalifa or whatever the fuck, I can't recall. But they jump off for that giant building in a Bugatti to another building off to the other side. It's like they've done all these things. Like, I don't understand how they can continue drawing out. At this point, it's basically a soap opera. Like, that's literally like how it feels. Because, like, I've watched soap operas with my mom in the past for a little bit, and holy shit, it's so much similar. Because it's like, this person died, then they come back, and then it's like, oh, well, we have this person had a kid with this person, but then this person came back because she wasn't really dead, and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, bro, come on. Why do we need to do the, like, worst possible storylines? It's just so bad. Yeah.
Obviously, Jason Momoa is, like, the central figure. But I think, and I know this content is okay here because I know the stuff that you guys have done. I think Daniela, the Spanish actress, or, like, she plays the sister, she's so good in this. Like, that was a little ray of light in this film. Yeah. But it cuts from those scenes to, I don't know if you guys forgot this and haven't mentioned it, Pete Davidson in this film.
Oh, no, I remember.
Dude,
why the fuck was he there?
I don't...
He didn't even have to.
And then they eat muffins and they get fucking high or some shit.
For no fucking reason. That's what I mean by vignettes, right? Like, and I did forget Pete Davidson was in there, because it literally feels like they had, like, just loose ideas. Like, they came on set every day with loose ideas, and they were like, okay, we're gonna just shoot them, and then we're gonna string them together in post. That's
they just get, like, actors. I'm so concerned for the future films with, like, big names, because it's like Pete Davidson, they're like, oh, he's a black market dealer, we'll get guns from him. They go to him, have, like, a joke scene for, like, 5 minutes that's super cringe, and then they leave because he's like, I'm not giving you guns. And it's like, what the fuck was the point?
Why did you need to do this at all? Yeah.
It's like, if you're just going to include big names just to do that, like, if they're going to keep bringing in Cardi B and fucking other people, like, I think there's another rapper in these franchises. It's so annoying. It's like, just stop, please.
Oh my god!
Also, the scene at the end with the fire made no sense to me. I thought he was gonna die.
Yeah.
The whole time throughout this film, I was like, if characters start dying, like if Jason Momoa kills fucking Ludacris or something, like, I'll actually understand what's going on, because I can see a finale of a franchise being multiple parts if you're just going to kill off characters. Yeah. But they bring back more characters than they kill off. They kill off one guy who's like, we never meet him until this film. Yeah.
Cut off one head.
They bring in people. It's like the red shirts. Like, they bring them in literally just so they can die, so they can fake having stakes.
And I literally thought they were going to kill Vin Diesel, because it's like the whole car.
I did too.
They CG inside the car, and there's like flames licking his arm.
No, it's so stupid.
And he's pressing NOS.
And his kid's like, right next to him.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Even like, I am one of those guys where I can turn my brain off relatively, but when it got to that point, I'm like, even like, this doesn't even make sense to a brain turned off. Like, he's pressing something that ignites. I don't know how NOS works, but it clearly ignites shit. And you're showing me fire on the NOS, like the car's going to explode. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then they're like, no, the blue flames save us from the red flames. It's like, what are you talking about?
Oh my god.
Vin Diesel's like, I really want this scene, guys. It's going to be really cool. Show my son getting burned alive. There's going to be flames all over his skin.
Jesus, man. That's the thing. Yeah, Vin Diesel, I feel like, has too much power as well. And he seems like the type of guy that would come on and be like, yeah, I want to have anything that, like, I want a shark. Fuck it. We're jumping 3 sharks and we're not even CGIing it. We're getting real sharks. And then he's like, by the end of the day, it's going to be done.
Someone telling him that Fast and Furious has jumped the shark, and he's like, that's a good idea. We should do that. Jump the shark.
Yeah, literally. I feel like he probably does that. He'll take anybody's opinion and be like, fuck it. We'll do it. We have fuck you money.
Some Universal producer probably said, like, you've done so many films, you want to do another one, what are you going to do, go to space? And he's like, write that down.
Fuck yeah, write it down, it's good, yeah. No, literally, it's like Jason showed me a sketch from Key and Peele, where basically it's like they're in a writing room, and there's a guy sent from the studio, and basically he like goes around and he's like, okay, everybody, give me an idea. It's not necessarily going to be in the movie, but we need to get ideas wrong. And so then he goes around and he gets opinions from everybody, and every single person he's like, I like it, it's in the movie. And like by the end, it's just this like massive dog shit pile of nothingness ideas, and that's what I feel like this fucking franchise has come to. It's just just the most stupid, ridiculous shit, but without it even being fun anymore. It's just become a chore.
Yeah.
The stuff that we're getting is like ridiculous too. Like 11 and 12 is annoying enough, and then like just going off announcements. There's Jurassic World Fast and Furious now.
Yeah.
There's gonna be fucking Vin Diesel keeps going around talking about how he wants to make a Fast and Furious musical, and I'm so concerned that like when Joker comes out with the musical, he's gonna see that and be like, yeah, we have to do Fast and Furious.
No, that's what he's gonna do. Yeah, I can see it. The final one is gonna be a musical.
It's already confirmed that after this trilogy ends, they're gonna do a film called The Torettos.
Oh, fuck me, man.
Because
it never ends.
Fast and Furious is about the Torettos, so you'll see the Torettos again. And it's like,
yeah, let's get a movie called The Skywalkers, too. Fuck it.
I can, like, legit, I can see the fucking kids. Like, you've got some, like, secret agent FBI chick. You've got, like, the world's most famous car mechanic, Elon Musk. And they go home to have beers. And on the wall is a fucking painting of Dominic Toretto as Jesus. And they're, like, they fucking work. They get on their knees and worship him every day, and Vin Diesel's like, "This is great. Put that in the script."
Absolutely. No,
he'll be in the film as like a 90-year-old man, but he'll look the same, and he won't act any different. He'll just be like, "Yeah, I'm this old now."
Dude, and I swear, also like, there's so many awkward scenes too. Like when Charlize Theron first meets Dom at the beginning, when she's like, "Oh, I need to work with you," he like gets so close to her and like puts his arms around, and it's like, bro, why are you trying to create some weird sexual tension?
The TikTok thing where he's like, "I've wanted to kill you for years," and then he does the thing where they like put the hand on the wall.
Yes, I know.
Like, what's happening?
It's like, why are we sexualizing this right now? You hate this bitch.
He's such a superhero that when he does that, the house shakes so much that Letty wakes up. Like,
dude,
what is happening?
Oh my god. And yeah, I feel like that's the thing. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna put my arm around you like this." The TikTokers, they like that. It's like, oh,
so fucking Vin Diesel cares for his family so much that in the film he's like, you know, Roman, you go off and do this heist in Rome, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay with my son. But then when Roman gets in trouble, Vin Diesel and Letty both leave their son alone. What? Like,
dude, no, it doesn't make sense. None of it adds up. And it's like the thing with the brother from earlier. It's like, why the fuck do you have a brother you don't know about when family's your entire thing? Like,
there's just too many. Like, I literally just saw before coming on. Apparently, the person that John Cena runs into at the airport, and almost hits with his like big boat thing. Apparently, he's like a famous TikToker, like Addison Rae TikTok or some shit.
Okay.
Like, it's like, what are we? This film is just like throw in as many big name stars as we can, and it's like,
literally. And then it's like at some point I feel like it's just a big money laundering scheme. At some point they're just hiring people because they're like, listen, you're gonna take half of the pay. It's gonna be fine. You'll get royalties forever. Just don't worry about it. Just keep your mouth shut. Okay, well, I think because the rest are just short films and a TV show. So that about does it for the Fast and Furious tier list. We have Fast and Furious 1 and Fast and the Furious 5 at A. We have Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious 6 and 7 at B. We have Tokyo Drift down at C. We have The Fate of the Furious at D. And at F, we have Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
okay, fuck it. And then we have Fast 10 and F9. So those are our categories here, and yeah, that all makes sense totally. And that's our ranking, guys. If you guys agree or disagree, definitely let us know in the comments down below. Besides that, if you want to check out any of us, our links are going to be all in the description. Go check out Peter. Peter, did you want to go ahead and do your plug real quick? Where do you want people to go find you at?
Yeah, you guys can check out my channel or my TikTok. If you want to see more from me, you can find it somewhere. I'm sure linked below.
All right, great. And then and for us, we do Smokin Sessions is a channel where we like talk about trailers. We post movie reviews, retro reviews, all sorts of good stuff. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, definitely link in the description. And besides that, be sure to check in further and like and subscribe here on this channel to see more of this podcast. We're definitely going to try to bring you guys weekly content or at least bi-weekly content, and continue doing various different segments and whatnot, including news, tier lists, etc. And if there's anything that you guys want to see, definitely let us know in the comments down below, and we can try to work any segments that you guys might have in if we think that they, might be fun. And yeah, is there anything else before we hop off? Anybody got to say?
I don't want to see more Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with Fast and Furious. All right, guys. All right, well, we will see you all on the next Tripodcast.
I stay out of my head to the depths of the universe. It's a spell or a chance just to open up a newer card.